Hey guys, it's Emily, and I know I have not posted a video on this channel in about a year, but reamping everything on YouTube, and I am back to make videos for y'all, so yay. So to start back up, I thought I would do a video on a book that's got some recent attention from a movie that was adapted to it, Paper Towns. So I'm going to do a video comparing the Paper Towns book to the movie and which I think is better and what I think about the book in general and the movie in general. And yeah, I own the Paper Towns book, but I don't have it with me right now because Maria is borrowing it, but I have read the book, and a couple days ago I just saw the movie, and I'm going to start with a non-spoiler review of both because I know a lot of people haven't seen the movie, or maybe someone hasn't read the book, or whatever. I'm just going to start with no spoilers. My opinion on both: I like John Green as an author. Even though I've only read 2 of his books, I'm going to read another one soon. I think I respect him as an author for the fact that he doesn't always necessarily have to have a happy ending in the book, and that's true for The Fault in Our Stars and for Paper Towns, and it's something I admire about him as an author, that he doesn't have to, he makes it so it doesn't have to have that fairy tale ending where the couple always ends up together or everything works out. Like, he has it in a realistic ending, and I admire that for him. And that's one reason why I like Paper Towns, because it doesn't have necessarily that fairy tale ending. But I do like Paper Towns, the book, a lot. But it also kind of annoys me a bit. Just, I think, because of that ending. It's really weird, but I like Paper Towns, the book. And I also like the movie. I'm very skeptical when it comes to movies and to books, but I try and keep an open mind to it. And I kept an open mind to this. And I think the movie definitely does hold up to the book. There are changes with how and when events take place in the movie. For the most part, it is completely faithful. There are some differences, and I don't think those differences make the movie bad or are necessarily bad to the book. Because in the book, to me, there was a lot of filler and a lot of unnecessary events taking place, and that's, I think, one of the things I didn't like about Paper Towns the book, is that it just, to me, kind of dragged on a little bit in some points, and I'm very glad that the book, because with the movie in general, you're going to always have to get rid of stuff, but I'm really glad that they just got rid of a lot of the filler, and it made it easier to me to understand and stuff like that. Also, they made the movie just, I think they were very good with the casting and with how things were played out, especially the casting of the main characters. Nat Wolff as Q, aka Quentin, he's very good at the role, and his friends, Ben and Radar, they are phenomenal characters in the book, and they come across amazing in the movie. And I think the casting, even with Margot, with Cara Delevingne, I was very unsure on how that would work, because, you know, in the book it describes that Margot isn't the prettiest girl around, and I'm here thinking they just hired a model to play the character of Margot, and I was unsure on how she would work, but in the end I do like the choice of Cara as Margot. And then every other role, including the role of Lacey and Angela and everything, I just felt like it all worked, and I'm really happy it worked. And I feel like as much as they could, they were faithful to the book, and to me, it just felt right. And I liked the movie a lot. I think it came off really good, and it had all the humor in it, it had all the adventure in it, and it had what the book had. It was sometimes in a different way, but if you like the book, I think you're going to like the movie, because it just has a lot of good parts to it all. And I give the movie a good review. I give the book a good review. And yeah, so that's the non-spoiler version of this video. Now I'm getting into spoilers, so if you have not read the book, have not seen the movie, then you might want to mute this part. So there definitely are some changes that may be noticeable to you from the book to the movie. Like I said, they left out a lot of filler, and to me that's good. Like when Q is always researching paper towns and he's going to look at the empty neighborhoods around, they cut that out, and I think that's good because that was just boring filler to me, and I didn't care about him checking out these empty lots that were paper towns and him looking for her. I'm glad that they cut it out. I think it was good that way. In the beginning, when Margot and Q go and have their adventure at night, in the book, they go to SeaWorld, they break into SeaWorld, and in the movie they don't, which I am definitely okay with. I don't support SeaWorld because of their treatment of animals, and I don't care really that they kept it out of the movie, because everything else in that sequence was pretty much true to the book, and I think that's awesome. Another big thing that they change from the book that you can notice is where they find out where Margot's gonna be, and then they're traveling to go and get her, or go, at least go and see her. In the book, they don't bring Angela along with them, but in the movie they do, and I'm kind of glad because I like the character Angela in the movie. I liked her more in the movie because in the book she's not really there a lot, but in the movie I like the actress who played her. Like, she came off as a cool person, and on the road trip she was just very fun to have around, and yeah. Another thing they changed was that road trip. In the book, that they go to that road trip on the day of graduation. On the day of graduation, you know, they all skip graduation and decide to go on the road trip to find Margot. And to me, I don't understand how, like, if I was in their places, if I was Lacey or Ben or Radar, I would be like, no, Q, I'm not missing my graduation. I spent 4 years of high school, and then I have spent my entire life building up to this moment, and I wouldn't, like, just leave to go find a girl who may or may not be there. And so I'm happy that in the book, in the movie, they changed it so that they were going right before prom, because, I mean, they didn't miss graduation, it was right before prom, and to me it just felt more realistic in a way of happening, and I think it's better that way. So on the note of the road trip, pretty much what happens in the road trip kind of happens in the book, except Radar and Angela don't have sex because Angela doesn't come on the road trip with them. But I still think that everything that happened in the road trip was pretty faithful and very entertaining and all good. And then how the ending of it is very different from how the book is. In the book, what happens is that, so Q, Ben, Radar, and Lacey, they travel to Agloe, New York, and they're looking for Margot there. And Margot is there at Agloe. She's in the building, she's writing, and Q goes in, and the others go in, and they find her, and Margot's pissed that they're there because she didn't necessarily want them to find her, and then Q can't understand why, and Lacey and Margot they kind of have a fight, and everyone just kind of goes off mad. And then finally, you know, Margot and Q just have their moment where they talk a bit, and it ends with Margot and Q separating, and it ends with Q and his friends going back to Florida and Margot staying where she is. And the ending is kind of a bittersweet thing where they're saying goodbye, and I didn't personally like the ending of the book as much because it just didn't feel right with me. I say I like it how it doesn't end with a fairy tale ending where the guy ends up with the girl, but the way that this book ended, I don't know how I feel about it, because it's good, but at the same time I just don't, to me it just kind of ended. It didn't feel like I learned anything from it. In the movie, Q and his group of friends travel to Agloe, and they get to Agloe and Margot isn't there. And then they're about to miss prom, and so Q's like, fine, everyone just go back. I'm gonna, walk around and see if I can find her. And so Ben, Radar, Lacey, and Angela get back in the car, and they go back to Florida. That does not happen in the book at all. And at this point, I was kind of confused on how they're playing it out, because it's definitely different from the book. And then finally, Q goes to Roscoe, I think that's how you pronounce it, in New York. And it's just not far from Agloe, and he's there, and he sees Margot, and he meets up with Margot and says that he's been looking for her. Another big thing I felt in the book that's different from the book in the movie is that Margot isn't as bitchy. In the book, she came off as a complete annoying bitch to me, and I did not like Margot at all, really, in the book, especially with the ending, because the way she acts in the ending is just childish to me, and I just didn't like her in the book at all. I just didn't like her. In the movie, she came to be much more likable in the movie, and I like that, like, especially at this part at the end when Margot and Q are talking. Margot's much nicer about it and much more understanding and talking to him, and when Q eventually decides to go back home, it just comes off better to me, because I don't know, I just feel like they're leaving off at a better place, because in the book it just feels like they're kind of just, I don't know, they're just kind of there, they don't really care anymore. But now in this ending, I feel like there's still heart to them saying goodbye, and I don't know, I just like the movie. I honestly like the movie ending better than the book ending, because I actually felt something on the movie ending, because once he gets back home, he goes to the prom and he hangs out with Ben, Radar, Angela, and Lacey as friends, and even though Marco's not there, he's happy, and I feel like that's good. It ends good in the movie. And then they go off to college, they go their separate ways, and I just actually felt more something at the end of the movie. So I personally like the movie ending better, the way it comes off. All in all, they just left out a lot of filler in the movie, and I'm happy about that, because to me, Paper Towns had a lot of filler in it. And to me, in the movie, they made the characters more likable than they did in the book. Ben is absolutely hilarious in the movie, and the Black Santas are as good as they are in the book. And I like the movie. I think the movie works. I think it's good. And I think Paper Towns is definitely a book you should read. And then I think if you watch the movie after reading Paper Towns, you're going to be fine with how the movie looks. I think it worked good. I think it came off good, and I really liked the movie. Also, that Ansel Elgort cameo in the movie, best part of the movie. So yeah, I liked Paper Towns, the book and the movie. The book's pretty much always going to be better, but I think the movie definitely holds a light to the book, and I'm happy with how the book and the movie ended. And especially the movie, I think the movie, I was always kind of skeptical on how they're going to do it, because when I saw the trailer, I was always unsure of how it was going to work, because I just don't remember, like when I would see the trailer, I wouldn't remember certain parts of it in the book. And then now seeing the movie, I understand how they did it, and I think it's really good how they did it. I highly recommend the book, and I highly recommend the movie, and yeah. So this is kind of like my comeback to the channel, and I hope this is a good video to do it with. Like I said, go read Paper Towns, and then if you want, go watch the movie, because the movie, I like the movie. I think it works. I think it's good. That's the end of this video. My hair has sucked this entire time, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so subscribe to the Bookmarks. I'll be posting videos every Tuesday now, and I highly recommend Paper Towns. Good book, good movie. And yeah, so subscribe down below to see my videos on Tuesday and Maria's videos on Thursday. And yeah, go subscribe to everything. I'll put some links down in my bio, and not the bio, the description. I'll put links in the description. And yeah, that's it. So go read the book. Bye.